Hi, this is Bill Watkins. We looked at 1 John chapter 5, verse 19 earlier, where it says that we know that we are of God and the whole world lies in the power of the evil one. He wants to hold on to that power. And he doesn't want the gospel to be spread to all the world. Jesus said, go therefore and make disciples of all the nations. He talked about that in Matthew 28. In Mark chapter 16, he says, go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Now, Satan wants to stop you from that. And he does 6 things that we'll talk about this and for 5 more weeks after this that Satan does to stop the spread of the gospel on earth. And it's not just theoretical. He really does it. The Bible says that he does several things. Here's the first one that I want to share with you, and it's found in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 3 and 4. He says, even if our gospel is veiled, it is veiled to those who are perishing. In their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. He says, here's the first thing that Satan does. He blinds the minds of the unbelievers. What does that mean? You know, if you have a home, and in that home you have a priceless vase that's been handed down for over 1,000 years, and you have it on display, and a blind person walks into your house and knocks it over, what do you think? They didn't do it on purpose. They just couldn't see it. The world is full of people who are not sinning because they love sin, but because they just don't see that it is sin, because they can't see what they're doing. There is a whole world full of people whom Satan is blinding. He's deadening to the cause of Christ and to the gospel of Christ. He does it in any number of ways. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you heard somebody say, nothing surprises me anymore? Or, nothing embarrasses me anymore. I don't blush anymore. You know why that's true? Because Satan has blinded you. That's why. Satan deadens our conscience and deadens our ability to respond so that when I should be feeling guilty, I feel nothing at all. In our present age, we have so emphasized self-esteem that we have vilified guilt. And we've done our best to raise a generation of people who don't know how to feel guilty. They don't know how to be embarrassed. Why? Because we've not taught them that there's such a thing as sin. We've not taught them about the direction that they need to head in. Our job is to share the gospel of Christ. And the gospel of Christ is meaningful when I realize that I have not been what I need to be. The word sin is being ruled out of the American vocabulary. In its place, we can say, well, we made a choice. Or we'll say, well, your truth is your truth and my truth is my truth. But the fact is that there is only one truth. That it's not up to interpretation what the truth is. It's just the truth. Jesus said, you shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. But we've deadened people to the idea that there is such a thing as right and wrong and truth and error. But there are some things that are always right, and they always will be right. And there are some things that are always wrong, and they always will be wrong. And there are some things that are sinful, and they always will be sinful. And we need to call it what it is. I remember meeting with some atheists from China who, when we talked about sin, said we don't even know what sin is. We have no idea what you're talking about. So I asked them this. I said, have you ever done something that you shouldn't have done? And they said, well, of course we have. I said, have you ever not done something that you really should have done? They said, well, sure. I said, well, that's sin. That's what the Bible calls sin. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, he says, on the one hand, which means to become less than what God intends for us to be. And then, whosoever goes onward, John said, and does not abide in the doctrine of Christ does not have God. Going beyond where God said stop is sin. Falling short of where God said go, that's also sin. Which means that it's true that all of us have sinned. Anybody here been the best father or mother or son or daughter that you could possibly be? The best employee, the best employer? Of course not. That's falling short of the glory of God. Anybody here ever done something that you knew was not what you should have done? That's also sin. What that means is I need to wake up and see, but Satan is doing everything he can to keep you blind. Don't let him put his hand over your eyes. Thanks for watching.